Zepiqueno Redmond joins Aston Villa on a free transfer from Feyenoord. The 19-year-old attacking forward has had a really good under-19 championship with the Netherlands. So let's take a look at his player profile, and also let's take a look at some of his goals that he's been scoring at the under-19s up the Villa. So Zepiqueno Redmond is here. He is a Villa player. So on today's episode, we're going to take a look at two of his goals that he scored at the under-19s. Now, his data, stats, it's quite limited. We can't really delve too deep into Redmond. It's quite difficult to find and source the numbers for a player that plays in the youth team at Feyenoord. But we've got some good things and I think important things to talk about on today's show. So I think let's kick it off then. Let's go straight in there with his goals that he scored against England for the Netherlands at the under-19s championships. And there's some good aspects in there. There's some really good attributes. There's some good things that I really like from a young footballer. So let's delve in and let's take a look. So here we can see Redmond on that far left-hand side. So predominantly, I'd say most of the heat maps that we can see, is the left-hand side is the area where a core body of his work is being done. So, again, I think this position of where he has been playing, I think let's not really read too much into it because he's 19 years of age. There's a lot of growth in there. We can hone in a position that he could possibly play in anyway. So, but I think left-hand side is where a lot of the body of his work has been done. So here we can see him then, so he's on the left-hand side, he's in a lot of space, and I think this is quite important already because you could be in this situation now and see the amount of space that you're in and think, okay, take a touch, drive, get in there as quick as I can. This is my opportunity now where I've got space in front of me that I can get all the headlights. This is my moment. So what he actually does is he bides his time and he takes this touch on the edge of the 18-yard box and he draws the defender into him. Again, some wingers might take this touch, try and burst past this England defender who's not yet currently set. But he just keeps biding his time. He keeps taking his nice little touches, dribbling into the box. But then the cleverness about him and the awareness is he knows that he's got an overlap. The overlap starts to come, and then the overlap creates a problem. England have got a problem here now, so you can see that there's an England player on the edge of the box as well that doesn't really track him too well. So Redmond knows that if he uses the overlap, then it enables space because the defender will then go to the overlapping runner and the space should be there. So he works this perfectly. But again, he's so patient in that he doesn't pass to this running player on the overlap. Again, he keeps taking his touches. He gets closer and closer to goal. We can see that this England player hasn't followed the overlapping runner. The defender goes to the overlapping runner a little bit more. And then Redmond is able to just caress the ball into the far corner. And you can see here now that he actually uses the defender as a little bit of a guide, because he guides it around the defender and he knows that that ball then can nestle into that bottom corner. So it's a really good goal. It's really well worked. It shows technique. It shows control. It shows belief. It shows an awareness, and it just shows that cute leveled nature to score a goal like that. And it shows, I'll tell you what it shows, composure. Shows complete composure. And if we're gonna talk about this goal, who does this remind you of? We might as well say it, guys. Thierry Henry. If that's Thierry Henry right there, we're going touch, edge of the box, guiding it, bottom corner. That's Thierry Henry-esque. That is Thierry Henry. It might not be him, but that's closest we're getting here to a Thierry Henry goal. So here now, we've got second goal that he scores against England. And again, we've got kind of like a give and a go. we can see that he started the move again, predominantly starting on that left-hand side, and he's played this nice ball to a Netherlands player. And his first thought is box. Gate crash and get in the box now. So we get into the box, we can see that he wants the ball to be played in between these two England players. He then receives the ball back to goal. Again, now we're starting to see striker vibes. We're starting to see a roll. So we go one way, then we roll the next way. We completely roll the England player. And again, we fired it into the bottom corner. And this roll shows me that we've got good awareness when we are up man-to-man. I think I always remember Lukaku talking to Jamie Carragher, and you'll have seen that clip, and Carragher, he's retired, and he's kind of like, go on then, try and roll me, and he rolls him. And it's such a powerful attribute for an attacking player to be able to go but then roll and then have that composure. Because I think sometimes, when we're looking at goals like this, we can look at a goal like this and go, oh, he's just rolled him, and that's quite easy to do. There's not that much skill in it. But the actual movement to be able to do it and still control the ball, and then when he's about to shoot, make sure that when he's rolled it, he's actually got it the correct amount of time out of his feet, and he's able to get a clean contact on the ball. So I think these two goals actually show quite a lot of technique and show what he's actually all about. We see on the second goal that we've seen desire to get into that. I want the ball, give me the ball, I'll roll my man, put it bottom corner. So really good from him there. And like I say, what we can actually find from him, it's quite limited. So to be able to see these attributes is actually quite good to see, really. I think something else that's important to notice about him as well is that he has been involved in the Under-19s Championships with the Netherlands. He's also played one time in the UEFA Youth League. But then the other aspect of it is that he's actually played more times in the Champions League. He's played 2 appearances in the Champions League, and he's totaled 79 minutes. He scored no goals, and he came on as a sub in both games. 73% passing accuracy across both. Own half 78, opposition half 50. We've got duels, 1 aerial, 25%, ground duels 30. So those minutes are really limited, but look at that as a player, 19 years of age, and already played 2 games in the Champions League. Some players never play at all in the Champions League, so I think that's decent to see from him as well. And in the Eredivisie, he's played 4 games and started 2. And again, minutes are limited, but we've got 80% in his own half passing accuracy, 78% in the opposition half, 78% all round, 50% successful dribbles, total duels 50, ground duels 64. So those numbers are starting to look a lot better, really. If you carried that on and added the goals and the assists, you're breaking that down to be a really good player, really. So I think it's interesting to look at his youth level as well with the national side. Under 16s, 17s, played 10 games. Under 18s, played 5 and scored 1. Under 19s, played 9 and scored 4. But the big thing is that if we're looking at his youth level with Feyenoord, we pride ourselves on our academy, and we pride ourselves on players coming through and having really good numbers. If we look at Redmond's numbers, under 18s Division 1 full, 21 games, 10 goals. So that's basically a goal every other game, which is really good. Spring played 19, scored 4. And then that was Division 1 of the under 18s as well. Under 17, Division 1 full, played 16, scored 6 and 1 assist. So the numbers are pretty decent, really, through there. Feyenoord, we've played under 19, 21, under 21, under 17s, under 18s. So for the under 21s, he's played 18, scored 3. Under 17s, played 22, scored 11, 2 assists. Under 18, scored 43 and 16 goals. So that was the under 18s. Actually, here we've got some interesting ones as well of where he has played. So positions played, centre forward he's played 31, right winger he's played 25, left winger he's played 23. He's scored most goals as a centre forward with 16. Right winger he scored 1, left winger he scored 10. So that's all about Redmond. I think from a lack of information, I've been able to gather quite a lot through there. I have spoke to a Feyenoord fan, and he wasn't that helpful. He didn't really know much about him, so I asked the questions, and he was just saying that he's in his youth team and he doesn't really keep an eye on it, so he didn't really know. So I did try and get some information from him, but he couldn't really. So what does this actually mean for Villa? This is the important part, isn't it? And this is the part where we go, is he a Duran replacement or what's happening? And this is our model, isn't it? We've got a model of signing first-teamers and a model of signing up-and-coming young players. We put Nedeljkovic, Garcia into that bracket. Dobbin, Sousa, Ealing Jr., that bracket of player where it's a PSR deal at the same time. Bring them in. Redmond, I mean, look at it this way. Redmond for Villa is kind of a no-brainer. He comes in on a free. If we send him out on loan to multiple clubs, his value rises to 10, 15, 20. Look how much profit we've made on that deal. Took him on for nothing, paid his wages, brought him up, sell him for free. That is PSR. That is a Villa model that we've got in the background. It's happening. We've seen it with Nedeljkovic. We've seen it with, use Duran for an example. That wasn't signed by Monchi, but a young player comes in, does well, goes for a big fee. That's part of that model. Or are we saying that he's ready to play behind Ollie Watkins and be involved in the Villa squad? The answer is I have no idea whatsoever. I have no clue. I have no clue whatsoever. We got to base it on where he's been at. He's been playing at the youth level with Feyenoord, but he has been slightly involved in the first team. So maybe he is. Maybe he can do that. Duran was a young age. We kept Duran. He's got more of a profile of Watkins, pacey, quick, acceleration, skill. Maybe he can be. But I think Emery's very good. And Emery's very good at this. And what Emery will do is Emery will do this exact thing. What is best for the player? Is it best he stays at Villa with limited minutes and comes off the bench and maybe plays Carabao, maybe he could play some Europa League games, etc. Or does he feel that he will be better suited to going on loan and playing football? That is the question. Like we'd need a second striker. So have we targeted this player or have we got other targets in mind? I'm not too sure. So it's all about what's best for the player and what's best for Villa and his development at the same time. So I think this one is definitely one to keep an eye on. It's definitely one to keep an eye on, especially for pre-season. But the also thing that I will note as well is that even though we're in the Europa League, and look, the target is to win the Europa League. Whether we can do that or not, the target is to win it. There will be times where we are allowed to rotate a little bit more. Spurs brought through Mikey Moore last season. They brought through Bergvall. They brought through a lot of young players that were playing minutes against bang average opposition in the Europa League. So Villa will look to do the same. So there will be minutes available for those types of players in the Europa League as well. So hopefully you've gained some knowledge and information on Redmond, and it's our first signing, so up the first signings. And yeah, up the Villa. If you are new to the channel, make sure you are subscribing, smash the likes and comment your thoughts.